Fact that the first change that takes place is in your mind. You have to change your mind before you change the way you live and the way you move. So when we said that the revolution will not be televised, we were saying that that the thing that's going to change people is something that no one will ever be able to capture on film.
When people first get into the manifestation space, or the space of New Age thought, they hear the possibility of them being able to have whatever they want, and the amount of things that pop up in their head is amazing. Crazy, but amazing. I can tell you firsthand that I had a bunch of stuff on my list, whether it be from how I looked, how tall I was, how good I was at a sport, or how I was able to attract women. You know, I had all these ambitions, these thoughts of who I could finally become, how I can be this person that I always wanted to be, and quote unquote, have all of my deepest desires fulfilled. But when people start to make a list of all these things, they finally decide to ponder on what's important to themselves. What do I want to manifest first, or what do I want to change about myself first? And as I went on, the list of things that I wanted became shorter and shorter. One of the reasons as to why it became shorter is due to the fact that a lot of the stuff that I wanted was out of feeling unworthy of who I was at that moment. I felt that if I had these things, that I would feel a different way about myself. I felt that if I was taller, better looking, had different facial features, had more success in this area, in that area, that I would feel complete and feel whole. But as time went on, that list got even shorter because I started to gain self-love. I started to be more accepting of who I was in this moment before anything changed. And then it finally clicked to me what I truly wanted this whole time. I didn't want anything physical. Everything that I wanted was emotional. If you heard what I said earlier, everything that I wanted was in turn to help me feel a different way about myself. That's all I ever wanted. I wanted to feel a different way about myself. And as I'm saying this, I want you to apply this to yourself, because while our motivations for certain things might be different on paper, the true reason as to why we want anything is to feel different about ourselves. Let's think about it. Why would you like to be rich? Well, you probably like the freedom that money gives you. You like the peace that money gives you. You even like the security that money gives you. If you wanted a girlfriend or a boyfriend, you would want the love that a relationship gives you, the comfort, the emotional security, the compassion, the loyalty. All these things that you want are emotional. Now, people still may not understand that what they want is emotional and has always been emotional. But this is due to people being unaware that in order to attract these things, you can't be dependent on the physical to dictate how you feel. You can't rely on seeing your world be different before you feel different. I'll give you a basic example to start. When you see somebody who's confident, why do you think that they are confident? Some people might say that the things that they have done in the past give them a reason to be confident, but I digress. You have to understand that you're not capable of anything that your mind doesn't believe to be possible. You can't outperform yourself. You can't outwork your belief systems. You can't name me a person that doesn't believe in themselves and was able to perform at the highest level. We know too many people who are good enough to play at a certain level when it comes to sports, or be in a certain position in the office or company and things like that. But they lack the confidence to apply their skill at the highest level. The feelings that they have about themselves are damaged and insignificant. If I take a person that has all the confidence in the world and no talent versus somebody that has all the talent in the world and no confidence, the person with the most confidence will get further faster than the person with all the talent, because you cannot, and I repeat cannot, outwork your belief systems. You can change your belief system, but you cannot outwork it. You cannot go against the set programs that you have unless you change them. You can't open up your Windows computer and expect the Mac operating system to pop up if you didn't go in and change the program internally. It just doesn't happen. You can't work against your own self. People think if I work out and change my body, I love myself. No, you have to love yourself enough to want a better version of yourself. If you truly love yourself, you would know that taking care of your body is essential. And one of the best things for you is to consistently exercise. When you want the best for yourself, it leads to you working out. But trying to work out to get the best version of yourself is the opposite. It's fighting an action with an action. It's fighting an effect with an effect. You have to realize that the world is the physical manifestation of the past. Everything you see is a creation. So everything, even the concept of life itself, had a conscious thought behind it, and then it was applied into the physical. What brought it from the mental plane to the physical plane was the emotional plane. The emotional plane is in the middle. It's what connects the two. So now that we know that things are created through thought, brought in through emotion, and appear physical, then we need to focus on the middle, the emotional plane. And this is where people are still confused, because some people have a hard time understanding that it's possible to feel something even if you don't have it or never had it before. I don't like this terminology, but for the sake of my explanation, I'm going to use it. Acting. Acting is the perfect example of being able to feel something without the physical evidence of it. Does everybody remember the movie Black Panther, where you had Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, and you had Michael B. Jordan? Well, Michael B. Jordan's character was Killmonger. And if you remember his character, he had a very strong hatred and resentment toward the people that had brought his people down in the past. And what's so crazy about that character and that performance that he put on was that Michael B. Jordan enveloped the hatred and the resentment that Killmonger had so much that he had to go to therapy just to bring himself out that mentality. He played Killmonger so strongly, and he embodied the character so much that he couldn't separate the character from himself anymore. So now, is that good acting, or a testament to how amazing the mind and the body is? Probably both. But think about it. He got so enveloped in the character, he could not tell the difference between Killmonger and Michael B. Jordan. So this is not just a case of, oh, he's just a really good actor. This is a case of, if we use our mind or any one of our senses to create imagery or create scenarios that conjure up the feeling of who we would like to be, we can experience those feelings on such a deep level that we won't even need the physical evidence of it to be in that state of being. There are a myriad of ways to conjure up these feelings. But remember that all these feelings that you want can be accessed by yourself internally. There's nothing outside of yourself that you need. I said this a million times. Even the Bible says that the kingdom of heaven is within you. It's not something that you achieve once you pass away. You have all the tools because you have the ability to feel every feeling independently. So because you can feel every feeling independently, you don't need any physical thing around you to make you feel any different. Now, I don't want you to go and preach to the heavens about yourself. While done in good faith, if you don't have a strong enough conviction in your abilities, people will look at you crazy when you say it. You may not have the discipline or the awareness to look at them as the crazy one, even when they're looking at you as the crazy one. But it's still important for you to internally recognize that whatever you're seeing is a projection of past things that you have created, that are still playing in front of your eyes. As long as you consistently play the new emotional movie and you always feel it, that movie going on internally will eventually override whatever you're seeing currently. That mental movie will have to become a physical movie. This is not just a metaphor. This is law. This is a practical application. This applies to even directors, because the movie that you see physically in the theaters or on DVD or on a streaming service was first a movie in their heads. Everything you want is emotional. You don't want that car, you want the feeling of the car. You don't want that house, you want the feeling of that house. Don't work backwards, work the correct way. Create the thought mentally, feel the creation emotionally, and thus live to see it manifest physically. When this finally clicked, I felt like Lethal Shooter. I understand it now. I understand it now. I was so serious. I was like, I understand it now. My feelings are my evidence. My evidence is my feelings. Remember when I brought up the whole aspect of confidence before? How can somebody be confident when they never had anything to show for it? Have you ever seen the confidence of a little kid? You know what makes confidence so natural to them? It's a part of their being. We are all creators of God. We are born with no impurities. The only reason you don't have confidence anymore is because you have picked up bullshit beliefs that cover it and mask it. This persona you have created gives you the false impression of what you actually are. Over time, you learn to realize that everything was within, and that it's not about attaining, it's about removing. Remove the illusion, remove the bullshit, remove the beliefs, remove the reality distortion goggles. You are exactly where you want to be because everything you want is emotionally. You don't want nothing else. Once you understand that it is all within, and you're just removing the limits that mask who you really are, you'll be like, oh, I've been working backwards this whole time. So instead of trying to gain confidence, try to remove the beliefs on why you're not confident. Instead of trying to love your body by going to the gym, learn to accept your body for what it is and be okay with whatever it looks like. Your worth is not dependent on how your avatar looks. We in this world have been brought up on physical this, physical that. Everything is so rooted in the physical. How tall are you? How your body looks with no clothes on? How you perform athletically? How much money do you have? We get so caught up in the physical. That's why nobody's fulfilled. In a limited world, why would you look for fulfillment? In a limited world, why would you look for fulfillment? I'm going to say it again. In a limited world, why would you look for fulfillment? You can't get full on the physical. The only thing that's full is the emotion and the love that you have with yourself, others, and God. That's the only thing that's unlimited. My emotion and my mental capacity is unlimited. And everything that's in this world is a projection of my creation, but also by limitation. My whole message is to not look outside of yourself. This world is scarce. I'm not going to be fulfilled in scarcity. I'm only going to be fulfilled internally because the kingdom of heaven is within me. I have everything that I need right here in my fucking chest. That's all I need. That's all I need. The love for myself and the love of God. The love of my family is all I need. And that will allow me to have the physical embodiments of what I already feel. That's why the Bible says whoever a man believes he is in his heart, so is he. Not his mind, but his heart. That's really one of the best quotes ever, and that's all you really need to know about manifestation, to be honest with you. Whoever you are in your heart is the real you, not your mind. Hope this makes sense.